says like all the points are made up and nothing matters anyways, right? That's how local marketing feels sometimes. Today, we're going to be talking about specifically Google Ads, some special things I think that Google has going for it, some things that have changed at Google, and just overall where I think Google Ads should sit in the hierarchy of using them for your solar business. So, as always, let's get some engagement up in the group. If you're watching at a time in the future on YouTube, leave a comment, like, subscribe. As always, we appreciate you. Let's get greasy. So Google is one of the oldest online advertising platforms, at least, digitally. Its initial release was in 2000, so it's nearly 24 years old, which might be older than your average door knocker. I don't know. I think something really interesting about Google Ads, and this is just an insight I saw. So I started running Facebook advertising back in 2019, which was about 2-ish years after its inception. And I noticed that a lot of what the gurus taught about Facebook was actually not true at all. And I found a lot of it was like leftover Google data and stuff because Google has a pixel, Facebook has a pixel. So people assume the platforms would operate the same. And so there's actually still a fairly large amount of, I would say, false or gooberish information about marketing up there because gurus like to get on and say, oh, do this thing, but they've really just repeated what they heard from so-and-so, and that person repeated from what they heard from so-and-so, all the way back to some guru that made something up in 2000 about Google that was not actually factually true. Also, another fun thing, when we're talking about solar marketing, we're doing a lot of local advertising. When you're doing local advertising, a lot of the rules that you would use nationally to advertise need not or do not apply. I think it's always like Drew Carey says, like all the points are made up and nothing matters anyways, right? That's how local marketing feels sometimes. So Google ads are very different from Facebook ads or Instagram ads or any other platform. So typically leads are higher quality. So you need to work them differently. Comparing them directly to a Facebook ad, I always say, hey, Google is a lot more targeted. So we're talking to interested home buyers. They may be more likely to be shoppers because of how Google targets. Facebook is more like door knocking. You're going to get a smorgasbord of smorgasbord. I'm going to stop using that word. Facebook, you get a wide variety of people in market for solar, out of market for solar. Never heard of it before. Solar, I barely know her, and so on and so forth. Facebook leads, high volume. Google leads, a little more expensive, but a lot more intent is what we're going for. So it has the best targeting out of all the other advertising platforms. So if you're wanting to get really granular with like who you're targeting and how you're targeting them, Google just has the most options due to Facebook has been really beat up by the FTC on what data they allow you to target. So Google also gives us the most data to advertise for targeting. So we've spent over $25 million of advertising on Google here at Prospect Bacon for solar business owners just like you. We really like Google around here. There's some interesting things about Google. We're going to go ahead and get into that. We're going to go into all of these insights and strategies, tell you exactly what they do, and give you some actionable tips to go into when you're starting your journey for solar marketing. We're going to talk about 5 kind of different streams or avenues of Google advertising and some tips to navigate each one. So first, we're going to talk about YouTube ads. So YouTube ads are kind of like this weird love child of Meta or Facebook ads and Google ads. In that in YouTube ads, we are reaching a broader audience because we're able to entertain people with video content. We're able to catch people that are being entertained watching videos on YouTube. Big thing on YouTube and why they are such a big deal. You have this ability to entertain your audience, show them good content. Video builds a lot of know, like, trust with people. And so by showing them the video content, you're able to build trust with your brand, but you're also able to use a bit of the direct responsiveness of Facebook, and then that we can be really direct with how we're advertising to people and like grab leads immediately versus just doing like brand awareness like you might be doing more of on a television ad. And so it's a really powerful platform. YouTube is also crazy because you have a lot of the reach of Facebook and Instagram, but you also have Google's targeting. So you have this wicked combination of like strong video content, really good targeting, and the ability to be funny, entertaining, and build a lot of know, like, trust with your audience. A lot of like entrepreneurs selling higher ticket items, like even a lot of like B2B brands, do a lot of their advertising on YouTube because you're able to build that know, like, trust in just the ads. So why is YouTube and Google's targeting so good? Well, on YouTube, we can target ages, demographics, credit scores, markets, etc. There's a lot of what you can do on YouTube versus Facebook. They keep locking a lot of that content down. What kind of ads can you run on YouTube? You can run a talking head ad, just like we're running right now, which is like you have a head that's talking to you. This type of content can be engaging. You can do skits, and then you have skippable and non-skippable ads. So this is one of my favorite parts of YouTube, is that you can actually design your content to push people away to hit the like skip button, right? Like if you're an Arizona homeowner and still renting your electricity every month from the power company, like stay and watch this video. Well, everybody who's not or not interested, they're just going to click the skip button. And on YouTube, when people hit the skip button early enough, you actually don't pay for that view. Versus on Facebook, you pay for every view and impression, whether they click the ad and become a lead or not, right? Like on Facebook, you're just paying for the eyeballs. So a lot of people get confused here and go like, oh, I'm paying $50 per lead. You're not, you're paying per impression. And it's the advertiser's job to get those impressions to turn into leads, if that makes sense. So some cons of YouTube. So we've seen YouTube actually become fairly less stable in the last 12 months or so. Facebook has been consistently working well for us due to placements, and ad placements in the Reels section has been performing really strong. But YouTube works really strong, high quality leads, gets amazing results at scale. Most of our clients spending big money on solar marketing, we have a significant portion of their budget in YouTube ads, particularly. All right. So the second thing we're going to talk about is paid search ads. So paid search ads, if you Google anything on Google, you might see a few of the first results have this little purple sponsored tag beside them. And essentially that means somebody's paying for that search result to show up there. Sponsored websites and listings is usually like a tag, something like that. And so basically a sponsored listing is where a company is paying to play, right? Like we want to pay to show up in Google search. How do you do that? You research keywords, and then you calculate how much you want to pay to show up in somebody's search bar. So the cool thing about Google search ads, when you're a solar company, if anybody's searching for like, hey, best solar company in like Riverside, California, well, they're actually going to be a pretty qualified or high intent lead because they're Google searching on their own. And I think we made a video about this recently, but you know, like somebody else's marketing has moved them to a point to be searching for solar in that local market. And so now they're Google search, they're Googling, hey, I want to find a good solar company. They're kind of already decided they're at least willing to look into the product. So Google search leads, very high intent. Google has a keyword planner software. Basically, you go in there, do research, how many searches every month are happening for these items. And then we're basically just bidding for our website or landing page to pop up in that sponsor section when people are looking for those. Those are Google search ads. All right. So display ads are like the banner ads are the third thing we're talking about today. So they're like the banner ads you see like on a Fox News website or like at the top of your Gmail account, different websites, apps, social media platforms, potentially like mobile games. The idea of display ads, this is where you have a little bit of opportunity on Google to have like eye-catching images and stuff where you're getting a little bit of the reach of Facebook. The quality for this can be all over the place. It can still be a good play to bring leads in. We like putting, if we're spending big money, we'll put a percentage of the budget in display. We definitely do not want it to be carrying the campaign. So Google Maps placements, we're going to talk about this like fairly quick. It's mostly managed by your how your website and your Google business listing, Google My Business is set up, as well as some light SEO components of your website. If you have a good mix of solid Google reviews, a decent website, and some solid SEO, you should be showing up in the Google Map Pack or Google Maps placements. And so that's basically when you search for something on Google, you'll see 3 or 4 places typically show up on Google Maps. Below it, you have the paid search ads. And then below that, you have the actual search results, which is usually SEO oriented. We want to, make sure we're managing our reputation and our bad reviews. We want to make sure we're encouraging our good reviews. That's essentially all we're doing for Google Maps placements. And then lastly, SEO. For SEO, like it's kind of the bonus child here out of the 5. So SEO, it's not really paid, but essentially what you're doing is you're optimizing your website and writing good blog articles that link to keywords that are being searched. So the same way you research keywords that are being like bid on for the paid search, you can actually write articles on your website that lets Google natively find and link stuff to your website, right? So if people are searching for best solar company in whatever county, and you happen to have an article talking about why you're such a good provider of solar in that county, you might rank higher there. This could also be based off your Google reviews and how Google generally thinks about your website. SEO can be really important. Like we had a client that was running ads with us, paid us to do some SEO work. They ended up pausing their ad campaign due to a few issues. 2 weeks later, they started calling us like, hey, like blah, 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 blah. Like we're not supposed to be running ads with you guys. And the wildest thing, we actually found that the ads had been off and they were getting 5 to 10 leads a week just directly to their website from showing up in the search results. So if you want like free solar leads, like invest some money in SEO, get your website built out. We're actually doing a webinar this month on the importance of SEO and website optimization in the solar industry. We'll be posting more on that later. Would love to have you join us for that. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any questions about anything Google related, drop them in the comments. I'll get back to those personally and answer those. Comment info below. Somebody in our team will send you a free PDF summary. Or if you're watching this later, there should be a PDF download link directly in the description. Peace, love, and bacon grease to you all. I'll see you next week.